avastha, the state of being, is what Baba expresses in one small phrase or sentence. Kam bolo, dheere bolo, meethe bolo. Because the stage of silence is very near to Avyaktavastha. If we shout, talk very loudly, all through the day we are talkative, then we move away and away from that Avyaktavastha. You must have experienced that after practicing deep and intense meditation for some time, when you just come into the workaday world, then during the first few moments or minutes, you find it difficult to speak. It takes you some time because to descend from that stage of deep silence again into the movie-talkie world takes some time, requires some effort. So one step forward towards attaining Avyaktavastha is to speak less, as little as possible. And whenever it is necessary to speak, Baba says, speak at a low pitch. Don't make too much noise. Avyaktavastha is away from the world of noise. In this world we have noise pollution. We are having much noise. So, not only have we to speak less and at a low pitch, but Baba says, sweetly. You have to speak sweetly. Meetha bolo. What does it mean? Some people speak very sweetly, but inwardly they are not sweet. They are politicians, diplomats. In order to get some work done, these selfish people for a while talk sweetly, as if they very much love us. But the effect is against this. So, sweetly means without hatred, without jealousy, without any feeling of enmity, with humility, with real love, universal love, which is spiritual love. So then only you can really speak sweetly. If someone is swayed by all these negative feelings or any one of these feelings, then that cannot be sweet. Others get the vibrations. We may try our best to make fool of others, but in fact we deceive ourselves rather than others. So when Baba says, speak sweetly, the soul is sweet, our behavior is sweet, when it is free from all these negativities, these vicious machinations, deceptive devices, strategies, and we are ourselves really in our nature, original nature. When we are stabilized in our original nature, then only we speak sweetly in the real sense of the word. Then We have a rush of thoughts. Our thoughts are falling one upon the other, just as on the occasion of Kumbh in Haridwar, when there are mobs of people, hundreds and thousands of people, each marching on the feet of others. They say there you don't have to walk because others make you walk. They push you from behind, so you need not make any effort to walk. Such is the mob, the rush. Similarly, before our one thought has ended, another begins. We have become very talkative in this sense. Now, speaking in one sense means speaking a word of mouth, verbal, oral, our speech. But even if we are not using our mouth to express ourselves, our mind is speaking. We may be thinking we are here, some of us, that we get up, when we get up from here, we have to say this thing to that person, the other thing to another person. So those images, those pictures of persons whom we plan to speak about, they emerge in our mind and we begin to talk to them in mind before we practically speak to them face to face. So it means that when we want to observe silence in real terms, our mind should be silent. We have to practice this kind of silence. When Baba says silence is a great power, and we say scientists also do inventions when they are in a silent state, their mind at that time is focused on what they are working for, the issue, the problem which they want to explore, on which they want to do research. Their mind does not run helter-skelter from here to there. It is in fact focused on something. Then only they are able to do this. So also if our mind is focused on our original nature and on Shiv Baba, then there is the sign that we have real silence. This gives a lot of energy. It gives tremendous energy. We feel almost jumping with joy, very, very happy when we can be silent in mind also, even for a small time. As I said yesterday, it's very difficult to maintain this stage all through the day because here we are in Karam Kshetra, the field of action, the amphitheater of action, where we are called upon to do something. Otherwise, people criticize and comment, he does nothing, fit for nothing. We have to do something in order to justify our existence, to earn our livelihood, or to do something, because that also gives us satisfaction. So, we have senses and organs of action, and we have to use them. But time and again, we should revert back to our original state. Let us go back again and again to our original state of silence. Then come here again. Baba says, you think from the very beginning when you get up in the morning and before you begin to do any action whatsoever, the very first thought you should have is, I come from Paramdham, the silence world. It's not only to think of it, but to feel it, as if you are taking incarnation into the body. The soul is entering into the body, coming from Paramdham. So come to this movie talkie world from the silence world, because we all really come from our sweet home where there is deep silence. That is why people want to attain mukti, the world of silence. It's a unique experience. And not only you should do this just to begin your day with, but all through the day, when you have to meet visitors, talk to people, give some directions, and have some work done for which you have to speak to others. Speak to them softly, sweetly, with no rush of thoughts. Have comma and full stop. This grammar of thought, thought also has a grammar. You must apply comma and full stop. If you just write so many things without any comma and full stop, people won't be able to make what exactly you mean. Sometimes it gives altogether a different meaning. So this punctuation, this grammar is essential when we write. But not only essential when you write, but also when you think. Have that punctuation. Otherwise, some people who study a language in order to attain proficiency in it, but they don't know grammar, they fail in the final test. It is essential. One may like it or not. So also the grammar or the punctuation of thought. Speaking to somebody, when someone else is speaking, you are listening, go back into silence. Come back again from silence, having gained energy again. Then speak. Then go back again into silence. So if we do this kind of practice again and again, then only we are able to maintain our avyakta state. Otherwise, if we just go on speaking without any break, without any pause, non-stop, then we drift away from our stage of silence. Angels, those who are in deep stage of meditation, they have deep silence. Silence has great power. So we have to have this power if we want empowerment of the soul, really. Nowadays they talk of empowerment. Empowerment of women, empowerment of this and that. But the empowerment of the soul requires no other effort but just to be in silence. This is self-control. This self-control enables us to control the world, to become world sovereigns. It is yogic power. So, we have to practice this. Because if we just, what actually happens is, we try to create impressions on the people by speaking too much. Sometimes we want to give explanations, to rationalize things. Perhaps that is the reason why we need to speak more than required. Otherwise, few words can do. We just want to try to show people what we actually are not. We are not pure people, honest people, sincere people. We are no longer any perfect. We all know we are not perfect. But if we commit some mistake, in order that the other person may not have a bad impression of ourselves, in order to erase that impression, if at all it has come there, we make our effort and then verbally we try to do that. Oh no, I was just playing drama. It is not really that I was angry, that I spoke roughly or rudely. I am a polite person otherwise. Why I was trying to do is to, because that man does not understand. In order to make him understand for his own benefit, I was trying to show as if I have anger. But in my mind I had no anger. Just in order that people may not get the impression that after having practiced meditation for so many years, I still am angry at times. So in order to avoid that, that means we are hypocrisy, not sincere. This is not our honesty. So that is why we have to be indulging into lot of verbiosity, talking more and more. You know, there are people whom we call talkative, talk too much. When they just begin to tell you that they are sick, they aren't having good health, they talk so much. I went to this physician, then he referred me to go to the other one, and he did my endoscopy. This was the result, but they were not satisfied. Then they sent me to that man. Unnecessary. Why you are saying all these things? Do you want to engage me as your physician? You telling me your case history? How am I concerned with all this? But we have formed a habit to talk much, to invent a topic and to come out with one point after another, to go on enlarging it. So this we have to avoid if we really want to have that avyakta stage or stage of silence. Then again our food has a lot to do with our state. If we take things which take very long time to digest, which are tali bhuni, you see, fried and with spices and so many things, which are to our, which cater only to our taste. We have gluttony. We eat too much, more than required to have energy. If we have the philosophy, not that food is for us, but that we are for the food. You see. If we don't eat, the food will go waste. You see. So we have to eat in order to make it सफल, as you say. उसको सफल करने के लिए खाना है, हमें कोई बात नहीं. You see. So, if our stomach is loaded, fully packed with eatables, and one after the other we just on gulping things, just pushing them down our throat, you see, what actually what will happen in the end? We can't be near back to state. We should eat as is only possible, is essential, needed. Things may be very tasty, people may be very loving, asking us to eat this, to eat that. Sometimes they would say, "Oh, you didn't like it? I prepared with great love for you. Just try this. One more." You see. That gulab jamun is before us, you know. They say just take the name of something which is the name of the sweet, also of the flower, also of the fruit. One name which has all the three meanings together. So the person was puzzled, what can that be? It should be a flower, a fruit, and a sweet. It is gulab. Gulab is a fruit, a flower, you see. Gulab jamun is a fruit, a sweet, and also jamun. So people just trying to convince us how things are good, and in order that we may eat. But we should be careful. So if we just take light food, remain light, not only double light, but light also so far as our food is concerned. Otherwise we feel drowsy, sleepy. We are not alert. In order to be practicing meditation, we should be mentally alert. Then only we are able to attain this stage. Yesterday when I was saying that we should have before us that aura or that light surrounding the body, it does not mean that we have to be conscious of that in order that instead of being conscious of the soul. Soul consciousness means soul consciousness, to be conscious of the soul. But what I was saying was, in order that we may be soul conscious, this kind of a feeling helps us to be soul conscious. If you can't forget the body, then you think of the subtle body, just all people having this angelic body, this casing of light, so to say, light sheath as they call it. You see. But still you have to be conscious of the soul. So if these are some of the things which we practice, they help us to attain a vast state. Om Shanti.